That's what I wanted to do. You know, I live on the Lower East Side, and I wear something like this home every night. You know, I want to scare them before they scare me. There's a lot of guys out there that I come across in my neighborhood, you know, and they all kind of turn ugly on me once in a while. You know, right in my face. And I just want to kind of surprise them before they get me. I go, you know, it would really be nice if we all had our own little personal guardian. You know, someone to kind of walk beside us. You know, a little kind of monster bodyguard that could just walk next to us, and someone gives us a little trouble, they could just reach over and rip off his arm. You know, and then kind of slap him around a couple of times with it. I'd feel so good if I could do that once in a while. You know, you're supposed to be able to depend upon the cops for protection, you know, but you can't always depend on the police. You know, because every once in a while, they become social terrorists themselves. And you don't want to get on the wrong side of their monster bats either. So I'd like to show you a couple of my new hats. And they're all part of my Fashions for Defense. Now, this is my Alaskan Wolves hat. I wear this down the street, and it's almost like I got a couple of pit bulls. Let me tell you, with faux fur and false teeth, this hat says grr. Now, maybe for a little nostalgia, I sometimes wear my Coke bottle, my giant Coke bottle hat. I'll wear this in my neighborhood, and the guys point, and they laugh at me. He says, "Hey, you want some real Coke?" And I say, "Get thee behind me, Satan!" And now, this is one of my hats with a little safety tire on top and my danger dreadlock. Yeah. Walk down the street, it's like I'm, you know, I got a leper behind me. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger, Will Robinson. Don't fuck with me. You know, so all I'm really kind of saying is that it's okay to be a playboy and everything like that. Be out there having a good time and drinking it up and partying and everything, but you don't want to be out there having a beer on a stoop some night and have some guy just crush that beer can before you can drink it. You know, you don't want to be out having an ice cream cone with your girlfriend and have some guy just knock it right out of your hand. You don't want to leave your house with a new pair of sneakers and step out the door into that metaphorical pile of dog shit. You don't want to walk away from your ATM, you know, and have some guy come up and mug you and you have to open your wallet and turn over a bouquet of cash. No, you don't want any of that. Your look should be like a visual car alarm. When you walk down the street, it should sound like an oncoming train. You know, you should have kind of like a little warning, a psychic warning from your psyche to his psyche, saying, just pass me by, just pass me by. You know, when you leave the house, you want to feel invulnerable against any kind of physical attack, any kind of psychic attack. Believe me, there's a lot of people out there, they're throwing bricks at you. There's physical bricks, there's psychic bricks. One comes at you, it should bounce right off your head. That's what you want, you know? So the alien fashion idea is two things, weird or wired. So when you leave the house, think about looking that way. One of those two things, you know? I walk home like this almost all the time in the winter, you know? It's real good to have something like this because, I mean, you know, it looks like I got a bad cold. I know, it's wintertime, everything like that. But believe me, no mugger's ever going to mess with a guy with a booger this long coming out of him. You know? And the other thing is wired. Wired is good, too, because if you look like you're on crack, they won't fool with you either, you know, because those guys think they can lift houses, you know, so they give them lots of room. So what you want to have is that look that you've got another person inside of you just ready to burst out. Yeah, that's what you want. I know, a couple of you are laughing and everything like that, but you think this is a little girl growing out of the top of my head. But it's really the emerging radical feminine side of my personality. So, there's a dark side to this, and there's a bright side. The dark side is street crime is worse, but the bright side is you can fight crime with fashion. So I tell you what, just go out there and think of ways that you can make yourself look less vulnerable, less a potential victim. And I always figure a good place to start is the hats, you know, because headwear says a lot, and you can cover up a lot of mistakes with a nice hat. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So Monday when you go to work, you got your pinstripe suit on. You got 400 safety pins. You could try one of my little spike ties. I mean, this is a little spike tie. It just says to somebody, glad to meet you. Not too close, okay? You know? And if you carry an accessory, women, if you carry a purse, this is one of my new head purses. It's got 3 ears, you know, for a little conversation starter, but it does carry everything you need. You can put everything in here, cash and stash, keys and condoms, lipstick and mace. But if someone gives you trouble, there's also room for a little surprise. Mr. Cobra! I love doing this to people. You see, the idea is you want to be like a soldier in the war against street crime. You want to be out there and be a soldier, and if you're a soldier, you got to carry a weapon. Now, here's a nice little weapon. It's big enough, it's bold enough. I wear it to the subway. Anybody gives me trouble, I just say, hey, buddy, take that. You know, so when you're thinking of your own personal fashions for defense, just try and keep in mind those 2 things. Something larger than life, you know, something larger than life and weird, something a little bit scarier than usual, because what you really want to do is, you know, you want to look like when some guy's coming down the street and in his mind he says, maybe I can mug that person. Then he takes a good look at you, and the next thing you know, his head will burst with fear.
I just feel completely enlightened now that I know that I can fight crime through fashion.